Have you ever wondered why no matter how hard you work, it feels like you're stuck financially? It's not just bad luck or poor decisions. Many people are conditioned to be poor without even realizing it. But here's the good news. You can break free from this conditioning. In today's video, we'll explore 10 powerful ways you've been conditioned to be poor, and more importantly, how you can stop this cycle for good. If you stick around, I'll reveal one of the most overlooked strategies for changing your financial mindset. So don't skip. Let's dive in. 1. You're taught to trade time for money. From a young age, you're conditioned to believe that the only way to make money is by working long hours. You're taught that the more time you spend working, the more money you'll make. But here's the truth. Trading time for money is a trap. You're limiting your income potential because there are only so many hours in a day. Instead, start focusing on building passive income streams. This could be through investments, real estate, or creating an online business. Time is your most valuable resource. Don't waste it trading it for pennies. 2. The fear of taking risks. You've probably heard this your entire life. Play it safe, don't take risks. While that advice might work in some areas, it's a surefire way to stay broke. Wealth doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from taking calculated risks. Whether it's starting a side business, investing in stocks, or learning a new skill, taking risks is essential for financial growth. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? And more importantly, what's the best that could happen? 3. You're encouraged to accumulate debt. Society teaches you that debt is normal. Whether it's student loans, credit cards, or car payments, you're conditioned to believe that debt is just part of life. But here's the reality. Debt is a chain that keeps you from financial freedom. To break this cycle, prioritize paying off high-interest debt and avoid taking on new debt unless it's an investment that will generate income. It's time to stop accumulating liabilities and start building assets. You're trained to follow the herd. Most people are stuck financially because they follow the herd. They go to school, get a job, work until they're 65, and then hope to retire with enough money to survive. But look around. How many of those people are actually wealthy? The wealthy don't follow the crowd. They think outside the box, invest in themselves, and create opportunities. If you want to break free from the conditioning of being poor, you need to stop following the herd and start blazing your own trail. You've been taught that the key to success is finding a stable 9-to-5 job, working hard, and retiring in your 60s. But here's the thing. The 9-to-5 mentality is outdated. It's a model that keeps you working just hard enough to survive, but never enough to thrive. Break free from this mentality by exploring alternative ways to generate income. Freelancing, entrepreneurship, or investing can open doors to financial independence that the traditional job market can't offer. Society bombards you with advertisements and influences that encourage you to spend, spend, spend. New gadgets, designer clothes, luxury cars, you're constantly pushed to live beyond your means. And because of that, saving becomes an afterthought. It's time to flip the script. Start by saving a percentage of your income before you spend on anything else. It's not just about cutting costs. It's about prioritizing your future financial security. From the time you were a child, you've been conditioned to consume. You're trained to believe that buying more will make you happier, more successful, and more respected. But that consumer mindset is a major roadblock to building wealth. Shift your mindset from consumer to creator. Instead of spending your money on things that depreciate in value, invest in assets that appreciate. It's not about denying yourself. It's about putting your money to work for you. Society has conditioned you to rely on a paycheck, a pension, or Social Security. You're taught that someone else, whether it's your employer or the government, will take care of you financially. But here's a harsh truth. Relying on others for your financial security keeps you poor. Financial independence starts when you take control of your own future. Invest in yourself, learn new skills, and create multiple streams of income. You don't need to depend on anyone else for your success. For many, the word investing sounds risky, complicated, and best left to the wealthy. You've been conditioned to believe that investing is not for you, that it's a game for rich people. But this mindset keeps you from growing your wealth. You don't need to be a millionaire to start investing. There are many options like index funds, real estate, or even starting with small amounts in the stock market. The key is to start. The longer you wait, the more money you leave on the table. You're taught to prioritize income over wealth. There's a huge difference between income and wealth, but most people don't realize it. You're conditioned to focus on making more money instead of building wealth. Earning a high salary doesn't mean you're wealthy if you're spending it all. To build real wealth, focus on acquiring assets that grow over time. Real estate, stocks, businesses. These are things that will generate income long after you've earned them. Start building your wealth instead of just increasing your paycheck. Why the 9-to-5 mentality is a trap. We touched on the idea that the traditional 9-to-5 job model is limiting, but let's expand on that. It's not just the hours that keep you trapped. It's the mindset. The idea that you need to work for someone else, be tied to a desk for set hours, and hope for a raise once a year is a model designed to maintain the status quo. It doesn't allow for exponential growth in your income or personal development. Think about it. The wealthiest people in the world didn't get there by following the 9-to-5 path. They either built their own businesses, invested in themselves, or found ways to generate multiple income streams. That's the key. If you're only relying on your salary, you'll always be at the mercy of someone else's decisions, whether it's your boss, your company's performance, or the economy. Start thinking about how you can break away from this mentality. Can you develop a side hustle, learn a new skill, or start investing in income-generating assets? The possibilities are endless, but the key is to step outside the traditional job framework and embrace the mindset of financial independence. How debt is a silent killer of wealth. Debt is often seen as a normal part of life, but it's one of the most destructive forces when it comes to building wealth. We're not talking about all debt here. Some debt, like a mortgage or a business loan, can be used strategically. But consumer debt, especially high-interest debt like credit cards, is designed to keep you in a cycle of repayment, where the interest you owe far outweighs the benefits of whatever you bought. Let's put this into perspective. If you're carrying a $5,000 balance on a credit card with a 20% interest rate, you're paying $1,000 a year just in interest. That's money you could have invested, saved, or put towards something that builds your wealth instead of depleting it. So what's the first step to breaking free from this cycle? It's about shifting your mindset from being a spender to a saver and investor. If you have debt, prioritize paying it off. Start with the highest interest debts and work your way down. Once that weight is lifted, you'll be amazed at how much financial freedom you have to start building real wealth. How to shift from a consumer to a creator. We live in a society that conditions us to consume. Everywhere you look, there are advertisements telling you what to buy, how to spend, and what new gadget will make your life better. But wealthy people don't think like this. They don't focus on consuming, they focus on creating. Whether it's creating businesses, building investment portfolios, or producing valuable products and services, the wealthy understand that true financial power comes from being on the producing side of the equation. So how can you shift from a consumer mindset to a creator mindset? Start by evaluating your spending habits. Are you spending money on things that don't bring you long-term value? Are you constantly buying the latest phone, the newest fashion trends, or expensive cars? If so, think about how you can redirect that money into something that grows in value over time. You don't need to create a business overnight, but you can start small. Maybe you have a skill you can monetize. Maybe you can invest in a rental property or start buying dividend stocks. The key is to think long-term. Stop buying things that depreciate and start putting your money into assets that appreciate. Breaking free from dependence. One of the biggest ways people are conditioned to be poor is by being taught to depend on others for their financial security. Whether it's relying on a paycheck, a pension, or even government assistance, dependence keeps you locked in a cycle where you have little control over your financial future. Financial independence means taking back that control. It's about creating your own security through smart investments, building businesses, and diversifying income streams. Start small if you have to, but start. The more you rely on yourself and the systems you create, the less you'll need to worry about external factors that can affect your income. And here's a little-known secret. The earlier you start, the easier it is. Compounding works wonders over time, whether it's through your investments, skills, or assets. Start now, even if it's just a small step toward financial independence, and you'll thank yourself later. The hidden danger of staying in your comfort zone. Finally, let's talk about comfort zones. You've likely heard the phrase, "nothing grows in a comfort zone." It's true. Staying in the same job, relying on the same paycheck, and sticking to the same habits might feel safe, but it's a surefire way to stay stuck. Growth happens when you push beyond what's comfortable, whether it's learning a new skill, taking a risk with an investment, or stepping out of your 9-to-5 and starting something new. Yes, it's scary, but staying in your comfort zone is far more dangerous in the long run because it keeps you from reaching your full potential. If you're serious about breaking free from the conditioning that keeps you poor, the first step is to challenge yourself to think differently. Get uncomfortable. Take that risk. The rewards will far outweigh the temporary discomfort. Breaking free from the conditioning that keeps you poor isn't easy, but you've already taken the first step by recognizing it. The key is to stay consistent and take action, one small step at a time. Remember, financial freedom isn't about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep, how smartly you invest, and how you leverage your resources to create lasting wealth. If you're ready to take that next step, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on tips that will help you build the financial future you deserve.